I mean, I was going to ask you about the Shetland folklore, because I'm quite obsessed with the supernatural. I was going to ask you if you've seen a ghost, but
Yes.
you have seen ghosts?
I have seen a ghost.
Yeah, tell me about that. I think this might be the rest of the podcast.
Because, do you know what, that's quite funny, because I think the time I saw you at Edinburgh Fringe, you were speaking about ghosts.
Right.
Was that every show? So yeah, because when I was here last night, we were doing storytelling, because I like doing storytelling. It's a lot more relaxed than stand-up, because you want the room not to laugh. You want them to be quiet.
Yeah.
And you can kind of just explore the story as you go. But the time I saw a ghost wasn't in Shetland. It was actually in New Zealand.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just expected you to interrupt.
It's a long way away.
Yeah, I know. I had to go.
It's a long
across
way to go and see a ghost when there must be loads of ghosts in Shetland.
It's like, don't let it leave. I'm on my way. But yeah, no. So we have a thing in Shetland called a ganfer, and a ganfer is when you see someone's likeness, and if you see it at night, it can be a bad sign, like they've passed or they're in mortal peril.
Okay.
So to see someone's ganfer at night, often they've come to say goodbye, or sometimes you can help them hold on.
Okay.
And I have to stop myself because there's so many stories about experiences like that. But my one, this isn't really funny.
No, it doesn't have to be funny. It's got to be scary. Is it scary?
I don't know if it's scary. I'll just tell it to you quickly. But yeah, when I was in New Zealand, then I was travelling through the North Island with another Shetlander. It's amazing we made it through the island. At one point we drove over a tree. Like, I didn't know that was possible, because the tree had just gone in the road, and we're like, well, how big can a tree be? Big. Just bush in the windscreen, and just like... And there's another time where everyone told us not to go on a little road trip because there's this thing called a typhoon.
Yeah, that sounds good advice.
And I was like, that's a kind of tea. And we're like, well, describe a typhoon. And they said it's windy. And we're like, well, we're face Shetland. It's a 5-hour detour where the road was just being washed away, and we're like, well, at least there's no trees. But I never told my mum that. We were meant to keep that a secret. But another day when we were traveling together, we'd been on a road trip, and I'd left my phone charger at someone's flat, so I had no phone for like 5 days. And we were staying in this hostel that was like half indoor, half outdoor. It was kind of weird. It's called the Bush Hostel. And the owners had replanted lots of native plants, so there's a bushwalk for 5 kilometres around the hostel. And you could do it at night or during the day, but they said, don't go out tonight. There's a boar with her young, and she'll be very vicious if you come across in the dark. Just leave it, and in the morning we'll tell you if it's safe to do the bushwalk. So at night I was brushing my teeth, and the sinks were all outside, so I was just looking into the dark, and I just heard someone saying my name. But that way it's almost like in your head, but you also heard it, and I was like, no. And I knew my pal was in the hostel, so I went to the edge of the light, where the light of the hostel stopped. It's just the darkness of the trees, and I heard my name again. So I wandered in, and I thought, this is a ganfer? And I was like, someone saying goodbye to me. And I walked in till it was all dark, and I saw these 2 like glinting eyes. We'd call them een, but 2 eyes. And I thought, okay, no, because the Maori speak about like glowworms being like the eyes of the dead. And I was like, I'm just seeing glowworms. I'm just seeing glowworms. And there was a person there, and they wanted to say goodbye. And I panicked. And I panicked because I was thinking, what if it's someone I'm not ready to say goodbye to? Also, there's a boar. So I was just like, I'm so sorry, I can't say goodbye. And I ran into the hostel, and I had to go on my friend's laptop, and I immediately contacted all the family in Shetland, and I was like, is everyone okay? Is everyone okay? And they were like, we're all okay, everyone's alive, because this is, yeah. And and they said, no one's dead. And I said, are the Dutch family okay? And like my aunties and their children, my aunties and uncles and their children were all okay. And they said, no, you're just missing home. You're just missing home. Everyone's okay. And then about 2 days later, I get to Auckland, and I get my phone charger, charge my phone, and I've got a message, and I phone my mum, and she's like, oh, a bit of sad news, but about 3 nights ago, my first cousin in Holland, who was kind of like an auntie to you, passed away, but we only just found out. And that was the exact moment when I was in the trees that she passed away.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. I saw a ghost. It's pretty good. I believe it. I believe it because I've seen was it called a ganfer?
A ganfer.
The ghost I've seen was of my living son, who came into. Well, I was asleep. I woke up, and my son came into the room and then just stood in the corner with his face to the wall. But it was absolutely three-dimensionally him, and it was so real. I can't imagine stuff either, so it felt very real. I can't see visual images. I reached to touch him because he wasn't responding, and my hand went through him, and he then disappeared. So then I went to check my son was still alive, because I felt like his ghost had just coming through. He's fine. Unless he got replaced. Is there someone who could have replaced him with he is a bit of a dick, so he could have been replaced. Could have been replaced with an evil changeling.
Oh yeah, the changelings. Yeah. But that's the thing. Ghosts appear very much just like you or I. It's just the whole idea of them being or like whispers or like floating. That all just came in when there's that huge movement into photography and trying to make eerie images.
Right.
But like before that, ghost stories are usually just like walking around. There's so many Shetland ghost stories, and the ghosts are just walking around. Usually, the only problem is when they open their mouth, it's like an unholy scream, like thunder.
Okay.
And then
it's the only problem. No, they're not very normal. The only problem is the unholy scream when they open their mouths. Then they go, "What the fuck? Why is that? Why am I screaming like this? I didn't realise I was a ghost."
But there's so many Shetland folk tales where that happens, and everyone in the community is like, "What do we do?" And usually, an old woman just comes forward and says, "You'll have to speak clearly. I can't understand you." And then they're fixed.
Okay. And are they back alive again, or do they disappear?
They usually admit something they've done that was bad, and then they can die peacefully, properly.
Oh, fuck, I've got so much to admit.
You could write it in a book now and have another follow-up.
Yeah, I do write most of it down, so I'm probably going to be all right. That would be fun. But that's good. I'm glad you've seen ghosts. A ghost. Well, you didn't. You ran away from the ghost. You could have said goodbye to the ghost. Been eaten by a boar.
I felt... Well, that's the thing, because I was like, is this real? Am I able to say goodbye to someone, or am I going to get gored by a boar? And when everyone's like, why, Marjolein? Be like, I thought I saw a ghost. Like, that's crazy. So, yeah.
It's weird that the ghost came to New Zealand. That's all I would say. Like, of all the people they're going to say goodbye to... They go, I better go and see Marjolein in New Zealand. It seems like a long way to go from Holland. That's all. I'd have gone to, like, somewhere in Holland first.
If I was dead and then you can go say bye to one relative, I'd be like, what relative's in the nicest part of the world?
Okay, that's fair enough.
That's what I'd be like. I'd be like, I'm going to go there.
I would say, the nice part of the world, but are there any boars there? Because I don't want to be I don't want to be just about to die and then be attacked by a boar as well.
Yeah, it's true.
No. I mean, I think it's arrogant of you to think that your aunt would come and see you. But good luck.
My favourite part of your story was that your son had his back to you, like, hey, put your hand right through him.
My hand, but this was trying to tap him. It was so weird because it's like the Blair Witch or something. It was just like, and it was so real though. It was like completely three-dimensional. I've never experienced anything like that before. But obviously I was asleep, right? But I didn't wake up. I didn't like wake up. I put my hand through and then I got up and went to sleep. So maybe I'm still asleep.
Right now.
This could still be part of the dream.